I have a surgery coming up on tomorrow, and I went in for the pre-op. Have hernias fixed. It's no big deal compared to what a lot of you go through and have gone through. Went in for the pre-op and talked to Christina Marie, and she took my information and my credit card, and she didn't give it back. Didn't have that bad of a surgery. And we talked for a while, and she asked me after a little while what I do. I said, I'm a pastor. And she got a big smile on her face. So she looked interested. I asked her, well, do you go to church? And she said, eventually she told me that her dad is a pastor also. I said, oh, that's nice, wonderful. And she got a little bit of frown on her face, and then she said, no, it was tough growing up with a pastor and a father. And I said, how so? She said, well, going to church, people watch me. I didn't quite understand what she meant. She said, I couldn't wear different colored hair. My skirt had to be below my knees, which in the fashion world of teenagers today, she's a little older teenagers, that's almost suicide to wear something that long. She couldn't wear dark nail polish. Now when I saw her, she had dark blue nail polish, real rebellion now. But then she said it was tough. I said, I have a daughter also who doesn't really care about those types of things. She's like, wow, really? That must have been nice. And I was proud at that time of our church. It's the way it deals with certain things that other churches might find really important. But then I thought about it later, and I was thinking, I'm proud of it, but the question has to be asked, which daughter or which church is going to have their children grow up and come back to that church life? And the one that is concerned about headlines and nail polish, hair color, the one that doesn't think that stuff is so important. God doesn't really care about that type of thing. And I would like to think that it's the second one that says that God doesn't care about your nail polish and your hair length or color or your headline or what you wear. I like to think that, but I'm not sure. Not really sure which one eventually pulls people back into church. Are you religious? What does that even mean today? Are you religious? Are you religious? You're a Christian, more likely, right? Grew up here, you're in a church. We have doubts, I'm sure. Are you a Christian? But are you religious? Are you a religious Christian? Christian can be just a title, a label. Are you religious? What does that mean for you? I mean, is there even time anymore for religion? All that you got to be doing, how fast time is moving, how difficult is it for some of you to even get here on Sunday morning? This is the younger generation, perhaps. I know I'm preaching to the choir right now because you're here. I'm not saying you aren't here. But how difficult is it for you? Time is moving so fast. I don't think we understand how much we're packing into our lives, how much faster we're moving. It's like when you go to the beach. Went to the beach a couple weeks ago. You find that right spot for you, your family, whatever it might be. You sit down, your blankets, all the stuff you have, your food, your frisbee. You go in the water, straight down there, you go in the water, and after 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes, you look around, it's enough, you got enough salt on you, you got to get out for a while, you got salt water in your mouth. You look up, straight up, and all your stuff's gone. Someone took all of your stuff in 10 minutes. And then you look over to the right, and you realize, oh no, that's where your stuff is. Up there. You haven't realized it. You've gone down current, downstream. I mean, I don't know how many times I've thought, no, you've just been washed downstream. You didn't even know it, that you were being changed this whole time. You moved downstream. And when it's occurs really fast, I mean, you got pet like a dog, you keep up with it. It's like how life is. You don't know how much faster you're moving because you're just being pulled in the stream of our society, of the way life is now. Think about technology, how much faster it is. And don't be fooled how much faster you are because of it. How much faster you're going to be. I Googled for this message, I Googled Miami Heat. You've done this before. The little top line says how many results you've gotten. This was in 0.3 fifths, 35 a second. I got 28,800,000 results in 0.35 of a second. That's incredible. It's amazing. We act like it's no big deal now. Technology is not a one-way street. It's not like we're the master of it. We always are the master of it. It changes you. It makes you move faster. And more burden because you do things faster, more things in the same amount of time than you used to be able to do. I don't know about you, but I've also heard that in America, that the average work week is now 1 hour longer than it was just several years ago. Another whole hour longer is your work week in America now. It hasn't been that much over that much amount of time. Your boss is asking you to spend another hour at the desk, in the cubicle, at work, maybe at home. Something's going to lose. Something's going to lose out that you used to be able to do and want to do. Moving faster. More stuff being crammed in. Can you even be religious today? For those of you who have children, I know how many parents have their kids doing 3, 4, 5 different activities. And some of those requests by our children are really legitimate. And you feel sorry for the parents who don't let their children do anything for whatever reason. Maybe they're too busy, can't find the time for their kids. But a lot of parents seem to be the ones who are being pulled around by the children's sense of what their life is supposed to be, of their wants, what their schedule is. It'd be tough to say no to our children. Absolutely. I say no to 5 children. It'd be very tough. But you still have to have responsibility and even the weight, the burden of the one who's got to say no. To have a vision and the view of what life is supposed to be about. What things are really important. What has to stay. What can go. Where they really need to be. And at what time. It's a tough job. When somebody's got to do it. And it's you, since you signed on for the job as a parent. Now, Jesus, in the scripture text, I don't know if you understand this, but he's mad. He's furious. And you really probably don't know the time in which he lived. But it wasn't really good. Life was really tough. Really tough. And he came from a part of the country, of Israel, that had a lot of protesters. They were sick and fed up, tired, Roman occupation. The Sadducees were the really elite, upper crust of Jewish religion and politics. You got to understand, religion and politics aside, there was no church and state separation at this time. I mean, you were political and religious, it was all wound together. You ruled the society. And of course, the Romans ruled over them. The Pharisees were a little bit, not quite as high elite and high and mighty in Jerusalem as the Sadducees. They were a little bit more, they were all in the towns. The Sadducees were only in Jerusalem at the temple. They ruled sort of the sacrifice system there. The Pharisees and the scribes, they're the ones from the smaller towns. That's where Jesus came from. That's where he was preaching around up in northern Israel, Galilee. And that's where the religious leaders were, Pharisees and scribes. In fact, when the temple fell 30 years after Jesus died, was crucified, Rome had just destroyed all of Jerusalem. It's those Pharisees and scribes that kept the Jewish faith going. The temple was gone. Sadducees never appeared again in history. They were gone. Only those Pharisees and scribes maintained and the Jewish life went from temple to synagogue and teaching. So Jesus is talking about these people because he knows them. He had a tough time with them. They were really into this, the sense of religion as book work and understanding this. But all around him, people were suffering. It was tough. Really tough. Occupation was terrible. There was no help coming from anyone. Jesus was tired. A lot of people were tired. He said, so he wrote in these complaints, these woes to you who are leading us nowhere. One was that great religious stuff, pure religious stuff. What about justice? Mercy, and real faith that makes a difference in people's lives. He says, you don't good on the outside, you look good religious life, bowing down and worshiping at a certain time. But inside, you guys are just like everyone else who's greedy and in it for the money and for themselves. Major complaints. So what is religion for Jesus? What was it back then? This is a question we face. I remember going to Spain and being I lived with Spanish parents or older folks, and they had me board there with them, and there's some other boarders there. And at one table at dinner time one time, one of the apartment renter people, the boarders, also was eating with my Spanish parents. After I was done eating, I stretched back, and also I felt this arm on my arm just knocking me down. I looked over, it was this old woman, she's probably 62 years old, mid-60s, and she hit my arm, knocking it down, and she said some stuff in Spanish, and I had no idea what she said. And those two parents went at her for doing that to me, and I was like, wow, what just happened? I figured out that because I had made the sign of the cross, and Jesus died on the cross this way, she knocked down my arm like I couldn't do that. And she was religious. My two parents thought that was ridiculous, it was silly. For them, it was more of what's going on inside you. Where are you? Do you have a spirit of worship? A spirit of grace for others? Can you be merciful to others and just for them? Who are you backing? Who are you supporting? Not about the outside. Not even just about coming here. There's a guy who went into a restaurant, a small restaurant. The owner didn't know him, but he said he was the brother of a restaurant, of the restaurant's one of their clients, there are a lot. And he asked the owner if he excuse me. Go to this restaurant which was looking for ice cream and hot dogs and lots of deep fried stuff. And the owner said, no, I haven't seen your brother in quite some time. What's happened? And the brother said, well, he can't come here anymore. He went to the doctor, and the doctor said, you got to take care of yourself. You can't be eating that type of food. So he said, oh, okay, that's too bad. And then look at this guy and said, well, why are you here eating? The guy said, well, I can still come here. I haven't gone to the doctor yet. I was so loud, I had for looks, A lot of us pay attention to what someone else is doing. And we pay attention to how they're doing. Because a lot of us, for us, that's religion. Make sure everyone else is telling the line. And if they don't, we get to get on their case. Our neighbors, our family members, our colleagues, we pay attention to how they're doing according to the gospel, according to Tom. Gospel according to you. How are they doing? That means you're just not really paying attention to yourself. That's the easy way out. Our world today, I gotta say, I'm concerned. Where are we going? I have a friend who used to play basketball with in high school, after high school, even after college. Good friends, he's a good guy. And I don't understand him anymore. He tells me that he and people like him have been unnecessarily provoked. And there may be a fight coming. He says he has zero respect for me because he disagrees with one viewpoint I have on something. Just rip me off. There's a fight coming in America. Unnecessarily provoked. I don't know if you heard about the guy in Bradenton, Florida, his family. Code compliance folks came to his house, and they saw he was out of code. Chip paint and lots of other things. He's so upset about this. So upset that he paints his house the American flag. It's a protest. This is still America. I got no problem painting your house as a symbol of patriotism for America. That's pretty cool. But to do it as a protest against code compliance, does America's freedom mean you shouldn't have to keep with the code? I'm the one who lived in Minnesota. 7-year-old daughter, and the father was out there trying to teach her how to ride her bike in the street in that neighborhood. And a neighbor came out, an older fellow, told me he was doing it wrong, started giving advice, got this texting in the movie theater before the movie, and you've done it yourself 5 minutes before that. It's all over the place. What's happening? It's like that current taking us down the stream. I'm afraid of that current. That's what I'm trying to stay sane. I think it's the only place to do it. Weekly. Try to remember where your stuff is set each week instead of going downstream. Here is where you can try to get reset. What we do here is worship God. Because we're not God. We need to remember that. God is our beginning and our end. This isn't all there is either. You know how amazing our creation and our lives are. God is still even more amazing. The scripture says from the beginning to end that what you have now is not all it's going to be. God can even do more. So be patient. Relax. Trust. Calm down. Amazing power we have in worship. You know, sometimes people in worship, they close their eyes. I think it's a beautiful thing to do because you know what? In life, you are not going to understand everything that happens ever. When you keep your eyes open, it's because you want to make sure you've got everything under control. And when you close your eyes and worship, singing, or praying, it's because you know what? I'm just going to let God take over for a while. Who doesn't need that? You got to let God take over. You're not going to understand everything. It's a mystery. It truly is. Okay, give a little time to live that. That's what we do in worship. Another thing we do in worship is that we believe in God's grace of forgiveness for you. I mean, we chalk up wrongs almost daily. And you know it, whether I believe it or not. You keep walking with that stuff. You keep feeling it. You keep trying to carry that stuff. And things have been done to you. You keep trying to hold on to that. God says, give that to me. I'm going to take that for a while. I'm going to take it all. Set you free. Free to start again. Free to have greater strength. Free to move in a new direction. Free to be changed from the inside. That's grace. That's power for you. Given freely in Jesus Christ. The last thing that Jesus says when you do this religion thing right is that you've got to care for others who need God's people. You can't just let off people who are suffering and forget about them. You've got to have compassion. I love it. It's important in the Lord's Prayer. Forgive those who forgive you. Or forgive the debts as you seek to be forgiven yourself. Jesus is putting one with the other. The only way you're going to forgive other people is if you forgive yourself. The way you're going to get forgiveness yourself is if you forgive other people. It's a two-way street. To get compassion for yourself, you've got to have compassion for others. Have mercy on yourself. You've got to practice mercy for others. Nobody can stay tough on others and not stay tough on themselves and break themselves down. To worship God, we believe in the Lord, and we serve others. Because that's what real religion is. That's what it means to be a religious Christian. Following Christ's life, believing the power of his death, living because of his resurrection. Gifts of God all over.